Hi there, this is Dante, and welcome to the Wrestling Time Post Show. It is Wednesday, May 28th, 2025, and tonight I'll actually be talking about last night's NXT, but I'm not alone. Joining me for this review is none other than Michael 101591.
How you doing, guys? Thank you to Tilla for having me once again. And guys, I will be carrying the Tilla through this review.
Hopefully your back doesn't hurt.
Yeah, and I'm shocked that the Tilla watched NXT last night. Put a 1 in the chat if you want the Tilla to keep reviewing NXT.
Put a 2 so I don't have to review NXT.
This could be a replacement for Dynamite because NXT is delivering more better stories than what AEW has to offer for us.
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. All right, so let's kick things off talking about this opening contest, which is for the NXT North American title match, Ricky Saints versus All Ego Ethan Page. So can you give me a little bit of background on this? Like, this seemed really personal between the two of them.
Yeah, apparently Ethan Page wanted a shot at Ricky Saints for the title, and he eventually got it. But it was a good match, and this all came about because Ava, who is the NXT general manager, ended up coming to ringside to make sure that there was a clear winner in this match. And Ethan Page ended up using a steel chair on Ricky Saints to crush the throat of Ricky Saints. But Saints ended up firing back. Page once again targeted Ricky Saints' throat. This time he used the ropes, and Page ended up hitting the twisted grin, and he went for the cover on Saints. So Ethan Page ends up winning the NXT North American Championship. So it was pretty shocking to see because Ricky Saints only held the title for a month. He held the title since April 1st. So, kind of like, maybe say a month and a half. But, still it was a good match. But I was shocked that that Ethan Page ended up winning the title.
So to say this, I thought this was a really great opening contest. I actually really enjoyed this match. And yeah, I was surprised that All Ego Ethan Page. Yeah, All Ego Ethan Page actually won the North American title here. So, but this was a great opening match.
Sad that that Ricky Saints' title reign had to come to an end, just like that. I mean, like I said, he held the title for like a month and a half.
Exactly. We'll talk more about that because there's another segment with Ethan Page when we get to it. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about this main event, which was the talk of the town. So it was the NXT Women's title match of Stephanie Vaquer versus Jacy Jayne. I actually thought this was a great match. Jacy Jayne, I don't know if you noticed, she actually went to a TNA for a few weeks, and she had a match at Rebellion, and she really knocked it out of the park. She was awesome. She's awesome. She's incredible. And I think the biggest surprise in this match was when Jacy Jayne ended up winning. I think everybody was shocked. Like, you could probably hear a pen drop in there.
Yeah, I mean, she got help from Fallon Henley. So when I saw Fallon Henley get involved and end up taking out Stephanie Vaquer, I knew that Jacy Jayne was going to win the title.
Yeah, but this was a good match. I thought it was a good match. I think that the ladies of NXT are very talented.
Yeah, I have to say that the NXT women's division is probably the best women's division out of Raw, SmackDown. You could count AEW if you want. Mm-hmm. So I think it's better than those women's divisions combined.
I'll talk more about Fatal Influence when we get to their backstage segment, but honestly, congrats to Jacy Jayne and to Ethan Page, especially to Jacy Jayne because she's been in NXT for a while, and I believe this is her first singles title. I know she's a 2-time NXT Women tag team champion. So
Yes. Yeah, with Gigi Dolan when they were Toxic Attraction.
yeah, Toxic Attraction.
I miss Toxic Attraction with her and Mandy Rose. That's how I became a fan of both Gigi and Jacy. I know people say Jacy isn't that good, but you know, I have to say she's gotten a little bit better.
So wrong NXT decision, huh? Should have made a triple threat between Fallon, Henley, Jacy Jayne, Stephanie, and Vaquer. Fallon, Henley could have taken the pin from Jacy Jayne or something. That plays into what this Fatal Influence interview. So they were interviewed backstage, and basically, like Fallon Henley seemed upset that Jacy Jayne was going to be challenging for the title because, and she reminded that the last time she faced Stephanie Vaquer, she lost, and then Jacy Jayne kind of fires back. It says that, Fallon lost the North American title to Stephanie Vaquer, so why is she bringing that up?
When she helped her win.
Exactly. So I feel like maybe there are some cracks in Fatal Influence here, and now that Jacy Jayne is a women's champion, maybe we might see the breakup of Fatal Influence.
Mm-hmm. And I've heard that the only reason why Stephanie Vaquer lost the title is because she's going to be getting a main roster call-up.
Well, hopefully they have plans for her on the main roster. I hope those.
It's going to be her and Jordynne Grace, from what I heard.
Oh, okay, that's good. Good for Jordynne Grace.
If I were to predict where they would go, Jordynne Grace, I think, will be going to SmackDown, and Stephanie Vaquer will be going to Raw. I see Stephanie Vaquer fitting more on Raw than on SmackDown.
Okay. So next we get a Josh Briggs and Yoki. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing this. Yoshiki Inamura segment, yeah. And they're basically Josh Briggs basically tells him that they should go after the tag titles, but Inamura basically wants to go after something bigger. I don't know what he's referring to here, but I don't know much about them. Again, I don't watch NXT on a weekly basis, so I'm assuming they were a tag team here.
Yeah. Which the Till should start watching NXT weekly.
We'll see about that. I'm very concerned for the main roster call-up, but I'm also happy she's going to be on the main roster. Yeah. Hopefully she does well on the main roster and that they have plans for her and she's not just another.
Or she's like everybody else on the main roster.
Yeah.
There's nothing like sometimes there's nothing planned for them.
Exactly.
They're just catering.
So next we get Mike Santana versus Tavion Heights. I have to say, this was a great match. Obviously I really like Mike Santana, and I know I've seen Tavion Heights here and there, but this match was great. I think Tavion Heights did really a great job going head to head with Mike Santana.
Oh, by far, Mike Santana, he's absolutely good. Since we all. Well, I know Santana from AEW. I know you've seen his TNA work, before he came into AEW with Ortiz.
Oh, actually, I wasn't watching TNA when him and Ortiz were there. So I actually started watching TNA in 2020. So that was when he was in AEW. So I'm familiar with Santana through his stint in AEW and now what he's doing in TNA.
Yeah, and the only reason why this match took place is because he ended up saying at NXT Battleground that he wanted a match on NXT, and so now, after this match, he wants to face Trick Williams for the TNA championship. So that's going to probably be Santana's first opponent. Trick Williams' first opponent, Mike Santana.
I'll get more into that when we get to that segment because I have more to say on that. We get the Ryse promo Vignette, and it's just basically them introducing themselves and talking about how they don't fit the mold. They're gonna make their own. Their only outcome would be that they rise. So I've seen this faction a little bit. They went to TNA for a bit. Had a little mini feud with the Rascals. So we'll see we'll see what they do with as a faction.
Yeah, I see potential in them.
Mm-hmm. So we get a Andre Chase segment, and he's talking to Connors and Dixon. Chase U. Shout out to JJ if he's watching.
The new Chase U.
If he's watching.
Yeah, JJ.
Yeah. So he tells Connors and Dixon that they don't need to jump into things without a plan, and that when they need to seize the moment and when to take risks. So they basically get themselves a match against Darkseid 3-on-3. And then Andre kind of tells them that they're not a team. So it seems like Andre Chase is reforming Chase U 2.0.
Yeah, but very different. I don't know how this new Chase U is going to be as good as the original Chase U.
Okay. We get a Tony D'Angelo segment, and it's did the family betray him or something? I didn't watch Battleground,
Stax turned his back on Tony D, and so that's why they had the match at Battleground, to which Stax ended up winning.
Okay.
But so he ended up getting help from his name, another guy that was part of the family, that
Crucifino?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what this segment's about. Like, Tony D'Angelo's asking Crucifino, like, you know, about the desert, that he doesn't trust him. And so I feel like this is going to be a feud on its own.
Yeah, he's going to have to go up against Azafino and Stax again. Now, we know that there's going to be a rematch with him and Stax coming.
Mm-hmm. All right, next we get a Trick Williams segment. Now, this segment, I actually really like this segment, Whoop That Trick. So I like the fact that he mentions Kurt Angle, Drew McIntyre, Rey Mysterio. I mean, Bully Ray. Sorry, I put Ray. Yeah, sorry. He mentions Bully Ray. Sorry, Bully Ray and AJ Styles. And he talks about how none of them compare to him, especially Joe Henry. And, obviously... Huh?
I believe in Joe Hendry.
So do I. Especially because, like, these people, they're former TNA champions. Now, he gets confronted by Mike Santana. I like the fact that he says he's going to call TNA Trick and A. So I thought that was really cool.
Trick. That's a good name or rhyme to it. Trick and A.
So he gets confronted by Mike Santana. And basically, Mike Santana says he's a pretender, a pretend fighter, pretend rapper. And he's a pretend champion. And Santino Marella, appears on the Titantron and basically makes a match for next week, a title match. And, Trick Williams attempts to cheap shot Santana, but he reversed it. So, you don't watch TNA.
No.
But
I know Santino Marella runs. He's like the GM of TNA.
Mm-hmm.
Like you kind of say. Hit me with the facts.
So, first of all, I have to say, like, I'm not surprised Trick Williams won here. I said this on the Body Slam post show when I talk about TNA. You could not have babyface Joe Henry versus babyface Mike Santana.
No, it wouldn't work.
Slammiversary, which is the TNA pay-per-view in July, is taking place in New York, Mike Santana's hometown, home state in New York. And you want the crowd behind Mike Santana here. You don't want the crowd to be split. You don't want the crowd to turn on Mike Santana because, of Joe Henry. And so it makes sense that they put the title on Trick Williams. I think this is going to be their Slammiversary match. Next week, I think that this match is either going to have a screwy finish or it's not going to have a finish. I definitely don't think Trick Williams is losing the title that quickly. This is how we're going to get to Slammiversary in July. But Mike Santana is definitely going to be the one to take the title off of Trick Williams at Slammiversary in July in his hometown of, New York.
The best way to do it.
Mm-hmm. But this was a really great segment. I cannot wait. I think this feud's going to be epic.
I think so.
Yes.
But Dattila could fill you guys in when she goes live on Body Slam for TNA, since I don't watch it.
Yeah. All right, so we get a Stephanie Vaquer segment. Ava tells her she needs to find a tag team partner, which Lola Vice agrees to tag with Stephanie Vaquer at Worlds Collide.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to Worlds Collide, which Datilla's going to be at.
Yeah, Worlds Collide seems it's shaping up to be a pretty good pay-per-view.
It's lucky you to be in attendance
Mm-hmm.
for the show. And then later on, Money in the Bank.
I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to have to leave Worlds Collide early. I don't know who thought it would be a great idea to put Worlds Collide at 12 and Money in the Bank at 4.
It's going to be at 3 here, Worlds Collide, 7 here for Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
I will only be watching Money in the Bank because I know I'm going to be working.
If Money in the Bank was at SoFi, it wouldn't be an issue because you can literally exit the forum and just walk.
That would be bad for you because LA traffic.
No, I mean the forum and the SoFi are literally right next to each other. Intuit Dome is a little further down. So that's the issue here.
Good luck, Tatilla.
Yeah, I'm going to have to leave early. I'm going to have to leave at 2. So that I can make it to a Money in the Bank.
Run!
I had to be like the Flash. All right. So next we get Jaida Parker versus Tatum Paxley. Now, it seems like Tatum Paxley wasn't all there during this match. I know she was teaming with Gigi Dolan. So she had these dolls, one of Shotzi, one of Gigi Dolan. And Jaida Parker, she threw one of the dolls into the ring. And this pretty much cost Tatum her match because she was able to hit her with Hypnotic. And so Jaida Parker was victorious, and then Thea Hill came out and attacked Jaida Parker. So I wonder what they're going to do with Tatum Paxley now that she's lost 2 tag team partners.
Maybe turn her heel.
Maybe.
I could see a heel turn for Tatum Paxley, which I am a fan of Tatum Paxley. I think she's good in the ring, but I think she needs a heel turn. Since she lost these 2 matches, it's about time.
Well, okay, so we're going to jump ahead a little bit here, but there's actually a backstage segment with her and Zara and Sol Roca. And they basically tell her if she needs anybody to talk to, they're there for her. But if you look behind them, you can see the calling is watching from behind. So I wonder if they're going to have Tatum Paxley join them.
I would not be surprised.
Mm-hmm. So next we get Jasper Troy versus Dante Chen. So Jasper Troy is a WID, right?
Yeah, he's from He's from LFG.
LFG, okay. So
Which he was good.
I have to say, there is something there with Jasper Troy. This was definitely an enhancement match. This was to showcase him as a monster. Yeah, I will say.
Jasper Troy, he was the winner of LFG for the match.
Yeah, I think he definitely has potential, for sure, just based on this. So we'll see what he does, how he continues to grow. So at the end of this, Obafemi confronts him and says that he was very impressed with Troy and he could have jumped in from behind, but he tells him to enjoy his 5 seconds of fame because now he has a ruler's attention and his 5 seconds are up. So should be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, this is going to be one hell of a match. I mean, Obafemi and Jasper Troy, a new guy that won LFG is going to be facing the NXT champion. That's awesome. And I'm a fan of Obafemi. He's very good in the ring.
Oh, definitely. Obafemi is really good. So we're gonna know.
Have you watched LFG?
I have not actually.
Very good if you want to check it out.
Okay, so we get a North Quarter Catch Crew segment, and basically Charlie Dempsey's telling Tavion Heights and Miles Bourne that they impressed him, but they both failed their singles matches. And now he kind of wants them to refocus as a group, but Miles Bourne says that he can make it as a singles competitor despite losing to Obafemi. And it seems like we're going to get maybe a possible disascension of the No Quarter Catch Crew because Miles Bourne challenged Charlie Dempsey to a match, basically saying if he can beat him, he wants to be let go. So,
almost said Patrick Dempsey there.
Yeah, I know.
She caught herself, folks.
I caught myself. So you think No Quarter Catch Crew breaks up?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. So before we get into the Eagle page, let's talk about this Ava Raine segment. Basically, she's talking about Shawn Legacy.
Yeah.
And she says that Shawn Legacy will get a title shot after Worlds Collide because he is the first 30 ID talent to get a win on NXT.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's basically what the segment was about, just Shawn Legacy. Talking about them. Them talking about Shawn Legacy. So we'll see. Who is Shawn Legacy?
Shawn Legacy, I'm not too familiar with him.
Mm-hmm.
I just know that he's from the ID program. He performed in, of course, NXT and Evolved. So all I know is that he won a triple threat match against Javon Evans and Ashante, which earns him a future shot at the North American Championship.
Okay. So last but certainly not least, we got an all-ego Ethan Page segment. He wanted to celebrate tonight because, he just won the North American title. And he's interrupted by Javon Evans. And Ethan Page tells Javon Evans that he should put on a mask. He's in the luchador. And so basically, we find out he's going to be involved in a fatal four-way match at Worlds Collide. He's going to be defending his NXT North American title against Rey Fenix, Javon Evans himself, and Laredo Kid, who also works for TNA. Honestly, I have to say I'm very happy for Laredo Kid. I think this is an incredible opportunity for him. I've seen his work, the work that he's done in TNA, and I feel like he's so underrated.
I never seen any of his matches.
Oh, he's really good. He's just underrated.
I thought that Rey Fenix would be teaming with Penta at Worlds Collide, so it looks like it's not going to happen. Not going to be happening.
I don't think you're going to get the Lucha Brothers tag teaming until they're on the same brand.
Until there's a draft.
Yeah. So, but I'm really happy also for Rey Fenix. The Lucha Brothers are based here in LA, so it's going to be a great show. Worlds Collide. I'm excited. But I'm curious why they put Ethan Page in this match and not Ricky Saints.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I'm like, maybe to showcase Ethan Page. Ethan Page with the title.
Maybe. I guess maybe they have other plans for Ricky Saints.
Yeah. But I see Ethan Page retain the title.
Oh, same. I think so too. And I feel like Javon Evans might take the pin here.
Yeah, sadly. Mm-hmm. I like Javon Evans.
Same. I think he's definitely has potential to be a huge star. All right, that is it. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about.
I rate this show a 6 out of 10.
A 6 out of 10?
Yeah.
On a scale from a 1 to Sean Spears' perfect 10, I have to say, this is actually a pretty great show. I really enjoyed the show. There wasn't a moment really where I kind of felt like, oh, this is dragging out. Can I just fast forward this?
I'm shocked. I'm so shocked.
I think that if NXT was like this on a week-to-week basis, I might actually tune in more.
Come on, people, get the Tilla to watch. I know she says for me sometimes to watch TNA all the time, but
I will say the one match that was kind of like Jasper Troy versus Dante Chen. Again, this was kind of a showcase match for Jasper Troy, so
I say for you to watch NXT because some TNA talent is being showcased, so that might pique your interest a little bit.
Right. I give this. I'd give this an 8. I thought it was a really great show. Honestly, really, I was entertained beginning to end. There really wasn't a moment where I
was entertained by NXT.
There really wasn't a moment where I felt like, oh, the show is dragging or So
I'm surprised. I'm so surprised.
This is a really great show. I liked it. If NXT were like this on a week-to-week basis, I might actually tune in some more.
It is actually like this on a week-to-week basis.
Sure it is.
It is. I'm not kidding you.
All right. So, Michael, where can people find you?
Well, you guys can find me at my channel here, Michael101591. I do WWE reviews, Raw and SmackDown. Every week I do movie reviews, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K updates. I have old school commercial breaks on my channel. If you guys want to check that out, I have a podcast, which we haven't done in like almost a month, but it's not canceled. We're still going to do it, called Bell Call Podcast with me and my co-host, Noah. Was thinking that if there's one show that Noah can't make, Dattila could fill in if she is available. So Dattila might pop in on the podcast at some point. Check out my channel if you guys like to. I have my Monday Night Raw review from this past Monday up, so check out that as well. No SmackDown review on Friday because I'll be working, so Dattila will hit you guys with the review for SmackDown. So check out my channel and subscribe.
Yeah, I haven't been as consistent with my reviews, especially with SmackDown. I've been mostly reviewing Raw, but I gotta get back. I'm gonna try to get back on my weekly review schedules, so you can catch me on Rangers of Wrestling, and of course for all things TNA, you can catch me every Thursday on Body Slam. But with that being said, you guys, thank you guys all so much for watching and for the continued support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you can notify whenever I go live or release a new video. And I hope to see you guys Friday after SmackDown. Bye.
Yeah.